Welcome back to yet another exciting episode of Captured with Crown, right here from the studios of Mana TV. Today's guest is not a current title holder, but I know her from a long time, and this is a different pageant system. As you know, Captured with Crown covers all pageant titles. We did International Miss, we did IFAB Model of the Year. Today we are covering for International System. And with us is our guest, Miss South Asia International 2014, Trisha Guduru. Welcome, Trisha, to the set.
Hi, Juhi. Thank you for having me.
It's been a long time. We go ways back.
Yeah, we do.
So I'm very, very happy to see you back.
Thank you.
And tell the audience a little bit about who is Trisha Guduru before the title.
Well, it's I think a young girl who always be a pageant winner and also cared about society a lot. So I started with the pageantry with the aim to really have a positive impact, because I think when I was in college and undergrad, I used to be in various charities like UNICEF and a Ghana project, which we work in Africa. So with that, I wanted more and more impact with the causes that I cared for, and the international pageant had it, and that's how I met Juhi. And I felt like this was the way that I could really put my voice out there and create much more greater impact and educate people about got into pageantry to make a positive impact and have a much wider audience, because when I was in college, it was just very little audience that I was able to make impact for. But I thought, I didn't know which pageant to get into. While I was researching, I thought the international system was amazing, and which really cared about not only beauty, but also causes that I cared about and anybody would care about. So that's how I got into it, and yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah, you're so right. There are so many pageants happening nowadays. We do cover all of them, but international really stands out, as you said, because it's platform-based.
It's a very platform-based.
And yes, all the Indian pageants also compete with other Indian girls, but this is one pageant where I could send an Indian representative in a wider audience, as you said, to compete with all different states plus international countries.
Yes, absolutely. It's a very unique pageant that is 50% is beauty based and 50% is platform, and I think that's what pageants need nowadays. Because not only winning a pageant is not a winner should be able to represent and be able to have an impact in the society. I think that's what a true winner is.
Totally agree. So what is your background before you were a title holder? Like, what do you study?
I studied biology and computer science and double majored in it. And after undergrad, I went to work for my dad's companies, GS Quest. I became a CTO for that, and I worked a little bit in IT. Now I am a CEO for a Neomed Pharmaceuticals company, so which we have a whole bunch of amazing products that we sell to wholesalers and all of that. So
very inspiring.
So it's a long journey. I think being able to be in the pageants really made me speak out and be a representative for whatever I believed in. So it really helped me in speaking outside, public speaking.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
So it's not about glamour and glitz. You have to be a woman of substance.
Yes, absolutely.
I love that message to all the audience here. So after the education and before the pageant, were you in any fashion industry? Did you ever do runway modeling?
Absolutely not.
Wow.
I had no experience whatsoever, and I think getting into your pageants before entering the actual pageant, you have made me go into a couple of fashion shows, and that's why I have learned how to walk and how to talk and how to be poised and represent myself. I think that's what really is important in pageant world. So that's what really taught me, and I think that's what really supported me in my pageant.
So how was it like winning this crown on that day? How did you feel when they told you are Miss South Asia?
I think it's an amazing feeling. It's girl's dream to be able to win something. And even if I lost something, I would have came home with an experience that I would have never forgotten. So it taught me a lot. I think girls go through so much pressure when they're in this pageant. It's not just being pretty, it's about like inside process, emotions, whole bunch of emotions. You have to be looking beautiful and being educated about everything. So it's a very, very tough thing, and it's not as easy as it looks as well. So
now you're not very tall.
yeah.
And you are a little on the heavier side.
Yes.
What I'm trying to tell the audience is that should not prevent you from entering the pageant, because
Yeah.
you are a winner
Yeah.
despite all the challenges and
Yes.
odds.
Yes.
So there is no stereotype like you
There
have.
is no stereotype. I don't think pageant really cares about the height. And I think as long as you're fit and be able to represent with confidence, I think you're good to go.
Okay, great. So international pageant system, as you said, is platform based.
Yeah.
Where is it held every year?
It's in Florida every year, Jacksonville. So that's where we have like a 3-day event going on, which really, a very hardcore rehearsals, eating your food, and we have ballroom,
Wow. So there's
dinners,
training.
and it's a lot of training and
Right.
speaking with the interviews and speaking with the judges, and you're always being watched.
Being
it's
watched,
not,
right.
easy peasy, so you're being watched.
Yeah, I have been in that pageant system. I
Yeah.
was a Mrs. Delaware International.
Yeah.
So it is hard, I
Yes.
know. And the best part of this pageant is, like, unlike other pageants, it's not a 1-day just on the runway or 2-day workshop.
Yeah.
It's more like a 7-day intensive training.
Yeah.
Right. So international pageants, I think they changed locations lately.
Yeah.
When you went, it was in Jacksonville, but I
Right.
think they do it in West Virginia now.
Okay.
Right. So as we said, she's 2014. So,
lot
but the
of things
values haven't
changes.
changed.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. So the toughest part in the entire pageant, what segment was tougher for you?
I think just the interview round would be obviously the toughest, because you have to be well educated on, everything, because you don't know what the judges will be really asking you. And it was really a crunch down for me as the interview, my date was coming. But I think I was able to do well, of course. But learning how to educate yourself is very important. Not only for pageants, you should be well aware just in general to be able to tackle anything and be able to be very informative. And that's all it is. You don't have to be really smart to, ace an interview. It's just about being well aware of, your society and your community and what's going on.
Now this pageant also has other countries coming.
Yes, absolutely. You have
So-
India, you have Australia, all over the world. We have a whole bunch of girls coming, and they're super nice, super sweet, and intelligent.
Right. So what are the rounds here? Like, I'm sure there's no Indian dress round like
No.
other pageants.
No, we had evening gown, and we had fitness wear, and we had, of course, fun wear, which was very interesting. We had all these, interesting outfits that the girls would come up with and wear, and the interview as you get to the finals. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like a 4 round
4-round, yes.
pageant. And what happens once you win? I think you won even the people's vote in this round.
I did, which was really surprising, because it was People's Choice Award that I won over there, and it was a whole bunch of support from family, friends, and audience from there, which made me really want that. And I think that's what makes the audience love you. Be confident and be fun.
And we want to know, after this lovely title that you won, what all you did with the title.
Well, I obviously cared about a lot charity, so I have made this, title with a lot more charity works that I have come through. Now I'm the president for Lions Club International in Long Island, New York. So where we have a whole bunch of people, we have about a team of 25 to 30 people, where we go around the community and see where they're helped with. We work with hospitals, in the pediatric center, and a whole bunch of other places, homeless shelters, and we have a monthly thing that we go to a different homeless shelter every month to give, $100 of good things to all the people that are in need. And with charity, I think it's a lot more of people work, and I think you have to have passion for it in order to do it.
Right.
So it's been a long journey of 8 years working with UNICEF USA and also now Lions Club. It's all about, I think, values and how you represent yourself. I think my parents really have taught me how to value the society, and if there are people in need, you need to go help. I think that's what they really taught since I was really young.
Right.
And that's what made me really get into this. It's about, my team is mostly consists of people who are passionate, because
Right.
if people are not passionate about what they want to do, they
Right.
won't be able to get in and stick around there.
So really, that's a very great
Yeah.
point you got across, that a
Yeah.
lot of pageants, they're focusing on walking the runway, fashion,
Yeah.
glamour, but they forget volunteering
Yeah.
and giving back to the community is so
Yes.
important.
And with the title that you get, I think
You
you
have
have a
the
lot
platform.
more power
Yes.
that you can really
Yeah.
teach the people
Absolutely.
and show them, and people listen.
Yes.
That's what really matters. People
Totally
listen
agree. Like
to
if
you.
somebody else would talk about the
Yeah.
same subject, the
They
people would
wouldn't
not
really
pay
care.
attention. Now you got this
Exactly.
crown to take this
Yeah.
charity and volunteering forward.
Yeah.
I think it's a great message for all of you. Focus on giving back to the community. You're very inspiring, Trisha.
Thank you.
So besides the charity, I think you even went out of the country to promote this title.
Yes, I went to India, and I went to a couple of rural areas in India to represent, our pageant, and as well as a lot of areas that are, really in need. I think that really showed me.
Yes.
I haven't visited India for like 10 years already. And I really saw that there's so much out there in this world that, that we take a lot of things
Right.
granted here in the US. So I think that really helped me understand, where I came from, my
Right.
roots and my culture. And I was able to help them with whatever donations that I have raised here. I have been raising, for 3 months, I have raised about a substantial amount, and went back to India, and I gave the money to wherever there was need. So that was
That's
really
nice.
very heartfelt, and I think that was
Right.
really nice to do, and I would love to go back and do it again.
Name a few organizations that you have, been associated
Yeah.
with charity organizations.
Lead India 2020, it's one of the major organizations in India to have youth empowerment, because we have so much youth in India, so we want them to get out there and do volunteerism, because
Right.
we are so focused on education and
Right.
and it's education is important.
Important.
It's
Spread it.
exactly. But thinking about it, giving back to where you came from, you go to a college, but do you care about what happens to the college after you graduate? No,
Right.
we just go about our lives and do our things.
Yeah.
But coming back to your college, where of course there is a need in there,
Right.
to be able to help them, I think that's what really makes a major change. I think I feel peaceful doing that, much more than just helping.
Right.
You'd feel peace at night that I did
Right.
something nice. Yeah.
Now, what are your future projects and goals?
All over the US, because I think Lions is definitely trying to help more hospitals in donations wise or equipment wise. So we have this new project where we're trying to help a $70,000 machine for
Wow.
eye patients, which is it's an MRI for your eye,
Right.
rather than injecting a dye, because a lot of people could be allergic to the dyes.
Exactly.
So we're trying to get that machine to a hospital which is in need, which has no funds, very less funds, I would say. So that's one of the major projects that I'm working on right now.
Great.
So we have a lot of fundraisers.
Everyone out there,
Yeah.
please support our Miss South Asia International for a lovely cause that she's working on. And we at Mana TV will do our best to spread
Thank
this
you.
word as well.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so great, giving back to the community, charity causes. You went to India, you did so much great work. But all this is possible if your family supports you.
Of course.
All right, so all this giving back and charity we talked about, that comes the question, which is the toughest round in the pageant? It's
Yeah.
not Indian dress or
Yeah.
evening gown. What is that?
I think it's just definitely the interview round, because what gave me a good edge with the round and the confidence is that I already have done a lot of charity work while, getting into this pageant. So I think I have a lot of content to talk to the interviewer. So yeah, I think it was fun, also nerve-wracking at the same time.
So I think for interview round, to ace it, you have to do work.
Yes.
You can't just get a scripted answer like many pageants have and give typical answers.
Yes, absolutely.
If you do the work and you do charity, it automatically you have substance to talk about.
Like I said, you have to keep yourself updated every day. It's
Right.
not only for pageants that you have to do. You have
Yeah,
to do
you
it
have
as
to know
a
what's going on.
general knowledge. I think that will really help.
Right. So what did you do to prepare for the interview round when you went for the pageant?
I'm not that updated about news all day. My dad tells me to keep reading, but I cut some slack. But at the same time, after this pageant, it really helped me to understand the world better.
Right.
And I read newspapers every day. It was a lot of magazines and, Googling stuff that I didn't know. If I didn't know something, I wanted to Google it and know it before, because I don't want to miss out on anything.
Right. The urge. So there's a lot of advantage of being in pageants. It's not about looking good and getting fit. It's more about getting aware and getting knowledgeable with Googling and stuff. I think it's a very, very good system. Now, a lot of parents, they kind of shy away from kids taking part in the pageant. I think that should change.
My parents said no. At first, it was a straight no. But as I was very persistent on, it's a pageant that I really believed in, and maybe I can get some more audience with the causes that I believed in. So they started liking the idea of the pageant, and they said, okay, go ahead. They gave me a good go, and that's when I started, and I'm glad I did that. I'm glad my...
Welcome, Srinivasji. How are you?
Namaste ji. Good. How are you doing?
I am so impressed with how you have managed your daughter's career.
I had to give it a spin, actually.
Yeah.
Give it a little bit, something. She should do something new, something different from the regular engineering and medical education thing.
Absolutely.
So that's what came to our mind as parents. And I think that was the beginning, actually. She sowed the seeds.
Yes.
And her penchant towards the community service and her activities actually motivated me.
Right. Like we can provide the platform, but I think what you did for her is incredible. You took her all the way to India. You are our CEO of which?
GS Quest.
GS Quest.
CEO.
Which part of organizations you're part of?
I was the president of Telugu Literary and Cultural Association. Last year, and now I'm continuing as a past ex officio president, basically, as a past president of the organization, still continuing to support the organization and support my community across the tri-state.
So Trisha, did this help you? Like your dad is in the organization.
Absolutely. I think I grew up, being in organizations for 10 years, so I know the in and out of how it works and how to speak. I think that also helped me, be confident and be in public speaking especially. I think it really helped, and seeing my dad go around, do so many things, and be in community. I think that's what we really care about. That's what's motivated me to do better. And so it's not something that completely is new to me. I was in it already. So when I'm talking to people, it's a natural flow of speaking for me. So it's not, I got it from my dad. Thank him for that.
Now, did you do anything in the organization of your dad? Did you?
Yeah, I helped around, just like how any kid would be helping around in the organizations. We did so many dances there, and be able to be at the backstage and helping children get dressed up, or any help that was needed in technical side, or showing PowerPoints and making PowerPoints or any such things. We really helped, and that kind of educated us in a lot more ways.
Now you also do Telugu pageants, right?
Yes.
And were you a judge in one of them? I think I saw some nice write-ups on you.
Yes, I was. I think it was ATA that invited me as a guest there for their pageant. So it was a wonderful experience. I think girls all over, women all over the world are now embracing the culture of pageants, and it's not a taboo anymore to be in pageants. I think they're being proud and embrace it as women. I think that's very important. Yeah.
So what one message would you like to give the family members of all the girls who are dreaming to be in the pageant?
I would say, like I said, don't be an obstacle in their passions. It's a kind of rude way of saying it, but sometimes because of we want them to be somebody we like to, I think we should take away from our minds.
Absolutely.
And let the creativity flourish, let the creativity go beyond the limits, and take them to newer heights.
Yes.
That's when they can make a difference.
And she's a very good example of that today.
I'm fortunate that
Right.
I'm her father.
Yeah.
And another thing is like thinking out of box.
Yes.
Community service is something very less, I should say. There are a lot of organizations in India, but from the roots where we came from, it is not imbibed in childhood.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So children are not taught to help others.
Okay.
It's not like it's not the parents' intention not to help,
Yeah.
but it is not given a thought. So I think that's where Indian community, polity, they should focus. Actually, when we went on the Victory Lap to India,
Right.
actually I told her, this is going to be your birthday present during that year. And those were the days when a lot of kids got motivated, a lot of parents
Very
got
nice.
motivated. Like Trisha said, it used to be a taboo.
Yeah.
I think things are changing in
Right.
India. And in here, definitely kids are very, very outspoken.
Right.
So they know what they want, and,
And they're talented and-
they're talented.
Yeah.
They're very
So I
talented.
think what I would say is like think out of box.
Box,
Just
right.
don't confine the kids to education.
Right.
Add a flavor of community service or passion.
Right.
Then encourage your kid.
So as you know, we follow our tradition of you signing your picture captured with Krown, and we'll have it on the Hall of Fame. And thank you for joining us in this episode. More such episodes coming to you shortly, same time, with Captured with Krown with Mana TV.